Hello, hello, hello. And today we will be making a procedural lava texture, not magma, but lava texture. And for this, we will be starting like nearly any procedure texture with a noise map. So let's get our noise texture in here. Press Ctrl T to bring our texture coordinate. We don't need mapping for this. Here and put object into there. And let's preview this. Okay, now we need here a scale of like around 0.9. You can go higher or lower with this. Um, this really depends on how big the scale of your overall thing is that you want to texture. Like uh, these are will be your control objects. There will be a second control object for it, but I will mention that when we get to it. Details to max and distortion to 0.1. Then let's bring this out a lot because we need a lot of space for this because this will take a bit. Then let's bring in a Voronoi texture. And we want to drop this right here so that this actually goes into this vector. And then let's preview this. And we want to change this to distance to edge. Yes, this is what we want to see, and we want to round this to a 1.2 scale, maybe 1.3, and we keep the random on 100. Now we need a color ramp. We will put this here, and we will bring this up to around about here. I feel like this works. You can get this even closer if you want, but I feel like something like this is probably not bad. Yeah, around. We can always go back to this and change it if we don't like it in the final product. Okay, these are kind of smaller lava strands. Now we need our bigger lava strands that will go through the parts that are not hardened rock already. Okay, for this we will need a Musgrave texture. So let's get a Musgrave texture. Put this here. Again, put the object into the vector and let's preview it. Okay, a scale of 2.3 I would say works well for this. A max detail and the dimensions we put down to 0.7 and we put to 3.5. And then we want to combine this with this, but first we want a color ramp, so let's just duplicate this one and put this here. Bring this out so that we have more or less equal things. And now let's bring this up to roundabout here and this to roundabout here. Obviously, this will be our second control vector. So if you want more lava pools, you want to bring this down. If you want less lava pools, you're going to bring this up. Same with here. If you want more strains, you bring this up. If you want less strains, you scale this down. Um, Now, you will see that this is black and this is white. And obviously we want to combine this, so what we want to do is we want to select this and get an invert node in here and just drag this down and it's inverted. And now we can see that this is already like a bit, it has become a lot thicker, so we drag this down just a little bit. And now we can select these two and press Ctrl 0. It brings up our mix node and we can change this mix to add and bring the faculty up to 1. Okay. Now, um, we want to have color in here. So what we want is we want a color ramp. So let's bring a color ramp in here. Jib. Okay, we also need to bring this a bit outwards. This color ramp can go into the emission. The base color ramp we will do later, but for now this just goes into the emission. We want a black here and a pure black, and we bring this out like just tiny little bit, just around here, and then we can start with a red and a very deep red. Um, kind of like something like this probably. So like this, and then just bring this to around here, I would say. Plus, and then bring a lighter one to around here. Put this here. Bring another one in, put this here, and this will be, and now we will start working towards yellow, so something like this. Get a new one in, put this here. It's a bit down. And then finally, let's get our highlight in there, which we will put here. Should be something like this. And fully bright. So now we have like a very nice fire structure. We have like smaller bits inside. We have a very nice outline. And if we put this into the emission and bring the emission strength up to around like, yeah, 5 should be good, and then preview it. We need to make this fully black. No. Yeah, okay, we also still need the base color, so just make the base color black for now. Like this. You can see it looks pretty okay. Like obviously it's still not amazing, but we will get to that. Also, I kind of want to change this red to like a more like this red. I feel like this looks better. And bring this down a bit. Something like this, yes. Okay. Now let's get to work on the base color. The base color will be pretty simple. We will just use like you can obviously like put any stone base color you have in here more or less. But what I like to do is just bring up a noise texture. Put this here. Let's preview it. Give it an object again. And then scale to 7.5. Details to max. Roughness to 0.55. Distortion to 0.1. And now let's bring in a color ramp. Put this here. And again, we just will start going ham with our grays. So let's get like a pretty light gray here. Put like a darker gray in here, somewhere around like here. Get another gray. Put this here. Let's put it here. Let's even make it a bit darker. Let's go like this. This. Get another gray. Put this here. Make it a bit lighter. Like this, and then let's bring this outward and then just make it something like this. And we have a pretty nice stone texture. Obviously, we can make it also like a bit darker. Let's maybe give it a bit more into this, because it's lava, so it's still like a bit hot. So something like this probably works fine. And then just bring this into the base color, and then we can preview this. And now all the parts that don't have an emission will have this color, obviously, but I see it's a bit too light. I feel like, so we probably need to tone this like way down. Something like this probably. Yeah. I like this. Like I said, you can make this however you like it to be, but I think something like this works pretty damn well for me. Okay. Now, we obviously need a bump map for this because there's a stone and we don't want it to be flat. So what we can do and what we will do is we can use this add, which we did here, and push this into a noise map. But we have an issue with this. This is white data and we want it to be black data, so this goes upwards. So we just get a color ramp again, put this here, bring this outward again because we need space for it. put our color ramp here. Then we need a mix RGB. Voila, no. No. Not add shader. Ah, they renamed the stuff. What the fuck is it called now? I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna duplicate this. I have no idea how they call it now. So let's duplicate like this. Change this to darken. Put the color into the faculty and let's bring this up to here. And now we can take this add and plug it into the faculty. But we don't want we want a white here. But we wanna again take an invert and put this here. Because we want this to be white and we want this to be black. So now, we want to have some depth in this, because obviously we want just not this to go outwards, so we need to make ourselves a new noise texture. And we make this again with two noise textures. So let's just duplicate these ones. And then just bring the object back into them. Okay, preview the first. We want a scale of around 4, 4.5 probably works well. Detail stays. This goes up to 6.8. 6.8. And this goes down to 0. The second will be our contrast, 1.6. Let's preview it. 1.6. We bring the detail down to 12. And the roughness stays, and the rest stays the same. Now we need color ramps again, so let's just take this color ramp and duplicate it. It's here. We bring this out to around something like this. Works pretty well. Like we want to have some darker spots and some whiter spots, so we have like some depth in it. So probably something like this. Preview this again, duplicate it, put this here, and we want to bring probably something like this. Yes. And now we want to mix these. So Control 0 again with both selected. Change this to darken, faculty of 1. And then we can bring this into our color 2. And if we look at this now, we now have a color ramp which we can use this to make it how we want. We want that our white things where our lava is are free, so we can just bring this up to something like here. And we want our tops to be also like kind of flat, so it's not like spiky everywhere. So I think something around like here is fine. And then we still need to drag this down a bit. That's what I said, like we need a lot of space for this. Okay, let's get a bump, because we need this. Color into height. Strength stays on 1 for me, but you can also tone it down to like a 0.8 or something, but I think a 0.1 looks pretty cool, to be honest. But I think you can also bring this down to a 0.9 or something. I feel like this also works. And now, what we still want to do is we want the lava to go inwards. We not only want our things to go outwards, so we will take this right here and just bring this into a color ramp, and then just multiply it into a second bump node, which we have to invert. This we also have to invert, by the way. Sorry. Back to 1, color into height, and then we take this one and bring this into this one. Preview it. We want something like this. And then preview this again. And we have a pretty nice lava material now. Now you can obviously bring this emission up how much you like. But for me personally, I like it like this. I think it's a pretty cool material to be honest. It works well on nearly all surfaces. You just have to see that like the downside with this is you can't really animate it. So it has like it only works for like specific scenes. It's not like an all material you can just slap anywhere and it looks good. But I think for something like this, it works very well. And I think the result we got looks pretty damn cool, to be honest. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.